What's up? This is day 90 and I feel fucking great that I'm here. Just gonna do a short video, say a few things. Today I really want to pat myself on the back for getting here. It took, I don't know, a year or a little longer since I sort of discovered that my porn use was a problem in my life. Took a long time, a lot of relapsing, a lot of terrible moments that led me up to this point I'm at today. But I'm really happy to be here, and I just want to share a few things about my own experience that may be helpful for some of you. First of all, everyone comes to the Nofap challenge for a different reason. Some guys discovered porn at an older age, which means that they already developed some sense of their sexuality before getting fucked up with porn. So to those guys, this may not apply to you as much. I discovered porn, before puberty, and used it daily for years, and it has always colored my perception of women and relationships, etc., etc. So I've never had sort of like a baseline healthy sexuality to go back to after cutting this porn out. So that's a very different situation from, say some guy who was like 30, discovered high-speed internet porn, binged for 5 years, and then was like, oh shit, I gotta stop this, and then went back to how he was before, That's a very different situation than what I'm talking about. So anyway, if you're going to relate to this, it's probably going to be if you are someone who, grew up watching porn at a very young age and, very soon after discovering it, started to use it as a coping mechanism for negative emotions or stress or whatever. So I guess one of the main things, I'm going to write a post, so I'm not going to make this video too long. One of the main things I really wanted to touch on in this video, I think it'll really help some people if they're really willing to face the truth about themselves, because that takes a lot, and hearing someone tell you something on a video doesn't always, give you the impetus to really make a change or reevaluate your situation. But I just want to say that because I've seen a lot of guys, and I don't know if they're younger guys, it's hard to tell on this online forum, where people come from. A lot of guys seem to think that Nofap is about, getting a girlfriend, and it's about having a lot of sex and becoming sexually active. And I don't think that's what the challenge should be about. Now, that's my personal opinion. If you want to have a lot of casual sex and just go crazy, whatever, that's on you, dude. Like, if that's what you want to do, then that's fine. I'm not saying that people shouldn't do that, but the point I want to make is that for a lot of us, this porn addiction is actually just sort of the tip of the iceberg, the outer layer of the onion, so to speak, of a larger, more deep-rooted sexual and love addiction, or sex and relationship addiction, codependency. I don't know if you're familiar with these things. That's what I've noticed about myself. You cut out the porn, there is an intense, very intense emptiness, depression, void, whatever you want to call it, that for a lot of people leads them back to their addiction with porn. For other people, leads them to immediately seek out, an exciting romantic relationship with a girl, or go out and have a lot of sex, whatever. My point around this is that a lot of us seem to think that getting, just get a girlfriend and the problem's fixed. And I just want to say that that's, for a lot of people, that's not the case, especially for me, it's taken me a while to realize that. You can't just transfer your addiction from porn to a girl's body. Like, that's what you're doing. As much as you may think that your intentions are honest and genuine and you really want to connect with this girl, like I said, everyone's situation is different. I'm just speaking from my own experience. I've had a lot of fucked up relationships, And then the most recent one was actually the best of them all, and the girl was a really independent and healthy girl, but I was still treating her as if she was sort of my source of happiness, you know, my high, my escape from the emptiness. So it wasn't really, you know, I went maybe 45 days on this current streak hard mode, and then got involved with her and started having sex with her, and our relationship became like the most important part of my life. I mean, if you don't know anything about love and sex and relationship addiction, then you may not know what I'm talking about. But for a lot of people, they give up porn, they find a girlfriend, they get fucking obsessed with the girlfriend and sex and like having someone to wake up next to. Like, yeah, that feeling is awesome, but you can get addicted to that, and it's very easy to get addicted to that after giving up porn, especially if you discovered it at a young age. You don't know what healthy intimacy is. You don't know what spontaneous arousal is. You don't know what healthy sexuality looks like for you, and you don't know what it means to be an independent person. You've been addicted. You've been an addict your whole life. I mean, I've had drug addictions too, so that's another sort of component of this. Those I've overcome, and then the sexual addiction and the porn has been the hardest fucking thing I've ever given up, like by far. I mean, cigarettes, cocaine, like that shit does not hold a candle to giving up your sexual addiction. And so this is an ongoing journey for me. It's not by any means over. But so the point here that I'm trying to make is that you may need some time on your own. I sure as hell do. You know, I try to convince myself, oh, you know, I'm distancing myself from my porn addiction. I can jump into a relationship with this girl. I can be healthy with her. No, dude, you don't even know who you are. You don't know very much about your own identity outside of your addictions. You don't know what your needs are as a person. You don't know what your boundaries are. I set no boundaries. Like, giving up porn, I just thought, you know, it'll set you up to really make yourself vulnerable and to have expectations for relationships that you shouldn't have, to not be as responsible for your own actions. These things you really need to face on your own. Like, it's great to have a supportive group. You should have some good friends that you can open up to and shit. If you don't, try and force yourself to get out there and be social in any way you can. But don't try and medicate this loneliness and emptiness that everyone feels when they give up an addiction. Don't try to medicate that with a relationship. You are just prolonging your addiction. You're delaying healing. So don't do that. Like, this girl had to break up with me because she has the dignity to see what the relationship was doing to me, let alone to her. So had she not broken up with me, I don't know if I'd be making this video today. So that was a really key moment for me. It was probably the worst night I've ever had. But what that did for me was that showed me that I can't there's no easy way out of this. You have to sit through the fucking despair and just, you know, the moments that make you just want to die. Like, you can't run away from that. Like, I mean, people can run away from that their entire lives, and a lot of people do. You're not going to be that way. You're going to face this, and you're going to become a healthy person as a result. But it's going to take time. You can't you know, jump to the end of the line. You can't fast forward time. You can't predict the future. Stop trying to control the future. Take it day by day, and, you know, don't try to, you know, and love yourself. That's another thing too, is stop being so hard on yourself. Everyone in my life has just repeatedly told me, Paley, you're too hard on yourself. You're giving yourself way too much pressure on this. I mean, a 10-year addiction, dude, you need time to heal. So don't expect 90 days to be the cure-all. You need time to figure out yourself and what you need as a person, what you like, what your interests are, and love yourself through that. Be a friend to yourself. Do not beat up on yourself. If you catch yourself in those negative patterns of anxiety or worrying about relapsing or, you know, talking shit about yourself, cut that out. Like, do some meditation. That's really key too. Just try to become more aware of your thoughts. That'll be very helpful. Be a friend to yourself. That is, like, I'm not doing that very well right now, and that's why I'm emphasizing this so much, is because I know once I get to the point where I no longer talk shit to myself, this is going to be a hell of a lot easier, man. So that's a big thing. Just be gentle with yourself, okay? Please. You know, I guess the last thing I wanted to mention about this, I mean, you can read the post if you want the nitty gritty of the, what I talked about from my own experience and stuff. One thing that's just really awesome about doing the Nofap challenge and making it to 90 days, it's awesome in a good and a bad way. I mean, and basically it's that you're going to start to feel your emotions again in a way that you maybe never have, because, before hitting puberty, like, what was loneliness to you? That doesn't take on as much meaning until you're an adult. And then you hit puberty, boom, there's drugs, there's porn, there's sex, there's all these things that help you escape from your emotions, and so you don't really get to face them. And so now's kind of the first time you're facing them, and for a lot of people that's pretty uncomfortable, and some people slide back into their addictions because they just can't handle the intensity of the emotions. When I was, looking at porn every day, like, I went years without crying. I didn't, I felt sort of indifferent to things. I was very complacent. I didn't feel very strongly about anything, even though deep down I knew that I should about certain things. I just didn't, there was no like emotional charge in my inner life when I had any addiction, really, but especially the porn. So you take that out, and wow, it's like you have to rediscover every emotion, good and bad. So, it's going to be a fucking bumpy road. I don't think I've cried this much in the past 90 days in my whole fucking life. I don't think I've felt so much genuine connection with other human beings in my whole life, except in this 90 days. I mean, I am rediscovering what it means to be a human being, and it feels awesome, and it also sucks a lot sometimes. I mean, I've also never contemplated suicide as much as I have in the last 90 days. There's a very extreme sort of spectrum of the emotions you're going to feel during this, if your addiction is as deep-rooted as mine. But it's good to feel that. You need to get through this. There's no easy way out, so you have to start to experience that. But for me, I see that as a blessing, to sort of reconnect with my emotional life and really feel my feelings again, even if they suck. That's something that everyone needs to experience, and it actually makes you a much stronger person. Like, some of the days when you just want to fucking die, and you don't want to talk to people, you want to just curl up in a ball and hide from the world. Those are if you get through those, and if you deal with those, just the emotions that feel like just a fucking 10,000 pound weight on your shoulders, if you deal with that in healthy ways, you are going to become a strong ass person. Like, this is building the foundations for a very stable and fruitful life in the future. I mean, I'm 20 years old. I am glad that I'm dealing with this shit now. So please don't put this off, and don't run away from your addiction in some girl's vagina. Okay, like, really, really evaluate if you're in a relationship, or if you just jumped into one after cutting out the porn. Really put your critical lens on and see what kind of attitude you're approaching that relationship with, what that relationship means in your life, how much of a sort of sense of self you have without this person. Stop seeking happiness outside of you. Get into meditation, get into your spirituality if you have one. If you don't, just try to find ways of being satisfied with yourself. I mean, having a rich social life is very important, so I'm not saying become this sort of like closed-off narcissist, but definitely develop the tools to get through things on your own, and that takes time. But just practice and look for support when you need it. So I hope this was helpful to some people. I feel really good right now that I'm at 90 days. I'm gonna go at least another couple months, probably 4 to 6 months on hard mode, not seeking any sexual relationship with any girl, but definitely seeking to establish new, healthy, non-romantic relationships and build off of those. So that's my task. As you can see, it's snowing outside. And Penny says hi, by the way. Okay, so that's it from us. Do your thing, do the work, and make use of the Nofap community they're there to help you, and there's a lot of fucking beautiful people on that website. I will stick around to help other people, and I'm gonna definitely need some help in the future. All right, peace out.